Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Fortin. I'm the host of this podcast, Doers Within Emerging Markets. And I just want to share my experience with using Anchor so far. When the pandemic started, I thought about starting a podcast, and the whole idea was to bring in some really amazing folks that are doing some great work in their respective industries within the emerging markets. And the Anchor platform really helped me get the word out there and also just make it a lot easier for me to invite the guest and just share the amazing experiences they've had and the amazing work they're doing in their respective industries within the emerging markets. Um, it's pretty fun. You don't even worry about the technical part of making a podcast. You actually just focus more on the content. And Anchor has done it really well for me. So I will highly encourage anybody who is trying to start a podcast to try to use. Just check out Anchor, and I think you won't regret it. I'm not a technical person, but if you listen to these episodes that I've been publishing so far, it seems like I know what the technical part of it, but Anchor helps you take care of the technical part, and you just focus on the content. So feel free to check it out. I highly encourage you won't regret it, and it's right there. You don't pay anything. So in times like this, I think starting a podcast and getting the word out there, irrespective of what you're doing, will be a really great experience. So thank you guys for listening to my episodes. Please check out Anchor, and you will have a great time. So cheers, guys, and see you guys next episode. Thanks.
Hello, welcome to Time for Emerging Markets, Doers Within Emerging Markets. Here's your host, Jacob Fortin. And today's episode will be talking about Harambeans. So, Harambeans is a great organization just from watching from the outside of building a network of innovators in Africa who are building the future of Africa. If you go to harambeans.com, they pretty much stipulate themselves as innovators scaling ventures to unlock the full potential of our people, and our people, that means people of Africa. And they also consider themselves the signatories of the Harambe Declaration, which they take to be a part of the organization that says we pledge to work together as one to fulfill the dream of our generation. They also consider themselves visionaries who believe that Africa, a generation that desires to be one, it exists, it is real, it is possible, and it is ours. So that's a place that they take as Harambeans. Um, Organizations as these are, I think, critical for the future of Africa, because I do think we need to collaborate more. We need better partnerships. We need great minds to come together and build a future that you know um, that's more inclusive, right? And is more um, um, it's more engaged, and people really deeply care about each other. I think just a very great statistics that is on their website, and I'm assuming that they did the data analytics right. So far the innovators, or the Harambeans as are being called, have created over 3,000 jobs, raised over close to $500 million, to be exact, $402 million, and they have ventures that is over $1 billion plus in valuation. And they do have very interesting videos on YouTube that you can just watch to learn about the organization. But so far, I've been quite impressed by the work they have done, how they look at Africa as the future, and how they invest in one another to create so much value for the continent. Some of the notable Harambeans that, if you guys are paying attention on the African continent, which is what this podcast tries to bring light to, is you have Harambeans like the co-founder of Flutter Wave and Andela, who has actually started a VC fund now, to invest in other young African entrepreneurs. Um, and you also have people like Afosa Ojomo, who is the co-founder of Prosperity Paradox, that wrote this great book, Prosperity Paradox, that has literally provided a new way for us to think of poverty. Rather than focus on poverty, we should focus more on prosperity, right? But it's quite interesting, and I think having opportunities, platforms like this to really connect all these great minds together is I think is critical for how we think of the future of Africa. Back to the co-founder of Andela and Photo Wave, his name is Iyanowo Lowa Samuel Aboyeji, right, from Nigeria, and being part of platform like Harambeans is I think it adds value to a lot of young entrepreneurs who will get into this platform. I think a while ago they pride themselves as getting to Harambe is more difficult than getting to Harvard University in Cambridge. So I think it's very selective process. They want people who are deeply invested they deeply believe that Africa is a place where they want to put the efforts, the energy, and the passions to building successful companies there. But most importantly, they see themselves as the change makers, right? The people that really, really, are vested in making a difference in the continent. Hindrance is quite interesting, and I do think that it will be, platforms like this are what is needed for us to actually get over the hump of developing that critical mass that I think is necessary for the continent to be, um, um, you know, uh, um, to get to that point where we have so many entrepreneurs who are doing some great work and can really make a difference on the continent in the next 5, 10, 20 years. One of the co-founders of Harambia, I think it was called Harambia Entrepreneur Alliance, Oquendo Lewis Gowley, um, I've been, has just a very inspiring young man. Based in South Africa now, and him and many others came up with this great idea to kind of not just bring people together, entrepreneurs together, but also start a fund called a prosperity fund within Harambe to kind of invest, provide us early stage funding to entrepreneurs within this alliance so they can build world class businesses such as Photo Wave and Andela, to make a difference in the continent. So this is really exciting times. I do think there are many more organizations that have to be developed like this or partner with Harambeans, utilize some of these connections such that we are not going into Africa alone, especially repatriates who live in the United States or Europe. But we're doing this as a group, as an effort for how we are thinking about Africa as a future together and building this community together. And it's never too late for us to start seeing the values in organizations like this. And I do highly encourage you to check out Harambeans, and I think the application is coming up in the fall of this year. But such a great organization, and hopefully we might have the founder of the co-founder of Harambeans come on this podcast. But it's a great organization to check out. I've interviewed one Harambeans on this podcast before, Efosa Ojomo, the co-author of Prosperity Paradox and the one of the lead researchers at Christensen Institute. But I do think it's something worth checking out. They have a good framework or blueprint of how we build communities that encourage and support one another for the prosperity of a continent like Africa. And I'm just really impressed by the work, and I do think that this is something that we all have to look as an example to build communities for change. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. I hope that just quite informative. Check out harambeans.com, and you guys have a wonderful day. And please feel free to check out the earlier episodes. I've interviewed some really amazing entrepreneurs in the past episodes, and who are doing some great work in emerging markets, frontier markets, and it's just so exciting to for them to come on this pod, share their stories, and inspire. Hopefully, they inspire you to take action, to make a difference as well, or even head back to your home country to be one of the few people that in the future will be on this pod. So thanks again, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And please stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe, and I was looking forward to see you guys in the next episode.